No, we have small, anatomy differences, you and I. I mean, aside from being male and female. My teeth more pointed than yours. I mean, I would be more than happy to send you a bite of my teeth if you'd like to see the difference.
Best off with just a picture, aren't you, really?
Well, it's kind of hard putting the camera in my mouth.
Try and get a picture of a bite or something like that.
Okay.
If you can do that. Or can you not get like a mould made of your teeth?
I can, but I think I would have to cure it. I can probably do it here using oven-baked clay.
If you get a mouth guard and then bite really hard and then you put something inside the mouth guard, you get a perfect replication of your teeth.
Yeah, you're right. Unlike humans, we have, 5 fallopian tubes and 4 ovaries. Humans only have 2 of each.
Right. So, was they not asking why you had that then?
Because I'm a hybrid.
Do they know that, though, the doctors?
Oh, yes, our people are in all fields.
So,
we're not just medical anomalies, it's just known. Mel is obviously a hybrid, she needs a hybrid doctor.
Do you know anything about George Soros? Is he sorry?
Oh no, he's just a miserable human being. He thrives on the blood of others.
So he's human?
Yes.
I wouldn't have thought he was a human. He's evil, isn't he? Causes so much trouble.
He is driven purely by greed. I'm pretty sure when he dies, he's going to be the only person buried alive with a U-Haul.
So is there anyone else you don't like who you might tell us we've got to be careful of?
David Cameron.
Right. What do you know about him?
He's very caught up in the sociopolitical systems and is not quite as bad as George Soros, but he's a runner-up.
What about Murdoch? Rupert Murdoch?
I'm not familiar with Rupert Murdoch.
He owns a lot of media in the UK.
Well, do you believe he's telling the full truth?
I don't really know that much about him. I just know you've got to be wary of people who own a lot of media.
They do, because they're the ones being the mouthpiece for the people.
That's what I mean, yeah. They have too much power. It should be in law that you can't own too much media.
There is monopoly. However, you can circumvent that law easily by making micro companies.
Yeah, exactly.
And that again is sociopolitical, people putting money in pockets. And
was you a fan of Obama?
Not really. I mean, I respect him, but at the same time, I'm entitled to have my own difference of opinion. I'm really not a fan of any political leader, honestly. They either become the pariah or a martyr for society as a whole, which is incorrect.
People are too scared of communism, though, aren't they? Because it's been so ruthless. No one's going to go down that way.
Unfortunately, there are quite a few. There's a new communist movement, and it's only because it's been out of, main view for so long that they want to try something new, which which is the folly of youth, unfortunately. Learn from your past, or it is doomed to repeat itself in your future.
Exactly. But it's like anything. I mean, Germany started off doing good, and then it always turns out when you get to extreme right or extreme left, why do they always end up killing their own people?
Because it's corrupting power. There has to be a balance. Just in our society, yes, there's a right and a left. However, they work in tandem to meet in the middle.
Do you not think people are sent to actively disrupt different organisations?
Oh, say that again.
Do you not think people are actively trying to infiltrate and destroy different organisations? Like the Labour Party in Britain, it started off well and then it's got taken over by extreme left. And no one's going to vote for that anymore, so...
Well, anytime you have a good base, a platform, there's going to be swamp rats that are going to try to climb on that platform and use it to their own means, for their own benefit. Everything that starts, look at our welfare system. It was originally created to help, war widows, people that were, incredibly crippled from battle, to allow them to have a means of sustainment. Now that system has been abused.
Most people have said, though, these people are doing this, they can't be human, because what they're doing, humans can't figure out how they think and why they put money before human life. Is this anything to do with, like, mixed breeding, like you say, with the Saurian bloodline? And maybe it's just like, really bad mixed inbred and they've just got no empathy?
Well, the truth is much sadder than that. One of our pillars of law is to uplift one another. However, when you take, you also are expected to give back. And in today's society, surface peoples especially, you see people taking and taking and taking and never giving back. Sometimes they'll even don the cloak of hospitality and humanity and saying, I'm doing this for so-and-so, and then in reality, they're just putting money in their own pocket.
It's gone from, like, living basically next door to your king and in the castle, like, and you all work together, and the king probably knew the people, each person by name, or, they were that such of a tight community. To go to, like, what's happening now, why is it going worse and worse?
Because we have been cursed with the sense of individuality. Now, that is a good thing and also a bad thing. It's a double-edged sword. Too much individuality is a curse. When's the last time you actually ate at a restaurant and saw people having a conversation with one another?
Looking at the phone most of the time.
You have entire families sitting at a table sharing a meal, which is supposed to be a communion, a sharing of thoughts and of food and of, a bond that is family. But now, individuality has taken over, and the instant gratification society we live in today, no one communicates anymore. And because of that, we only worry about ourselves. We don't worry about, how was work today, honey? Oh, how'd you do in school today, Junior? What did you learn today, Susie? How was your day, wife? What did you do? All that is gone now. it continues on this path, it will definitely be for the worse.
So,
Because
do Saurians like that? Do Saurians not like what's going on in human society at the minute?
We don't. Because you're breaking the bonds of your family. You're losing a sense of a group. You know, you can see that when you talked about, you know, the king living in the castle and he knew everyone that was in his kingdom and how he knew his gardener, he knew his chambermaid, he knew, you know, his courtesans. You know, now everybody is just posting selfies on Snapchat going, oh, look at me, I need self-validation.
It seems like the younger generation are getting worse and worse. Single parent households and things like that are getting more common.
Yeah, because the family structure is breaking down.
But
the individual is taking over.
Do you understand that? I don't think they understand how much damage that's going to do to society.
It's going to collapse it indefinitely. You know, back in the 50s and 60s, you could turn in your friend or your neighbor if you suspected them of being a communist. Unfortunately, that turned into, well, I don't like Susie because she got that brand new car. I'm going to turn her in for being a communist. And she was rewarded for it.
But don't they realise what they're doing when they're dumbing down society, telling them mostly lies, and then you're going to have a society that's been lied to, that's doesn't know the truth, that just believes what anything they're told, in charge of nuclear weapons.
Well, Andy, you're in your house alone right now. It's you and your dog.
I hate it when you do that.
Sorry,
I'm scared me to death. I'm looking around now.
Left corner.
No.
Fine. I'm out. Okay, look. We've established this. Now, there's no one else there with you. However, if I were to show up and just plop a big sack of pounds on your table and say, stay this way, would you not? And if I kept giving you that reward...
What do you mean? To say stop talking about what you're talking about?
To stop talking, to, start wearing petticoats. I don't care. It could have been anything that I want. Just as long as I reward you, you're going to do what I say.
I don't...
You're also going to reward you by releasing dopamine because I'm giving you validation.
I don't think I'd be selling myself out that easy, but you never know, do you?
Everybody has a price.
You never know. You never know what the option is that and die, or...
I can give you what you want. I can give you a house in the country, family. And if you knew that came from me, you would do everything I say.
Yeah. So money is power.
Not just money, favor.
So whose best interest is it in to make the countries as they are going? Apart from, we know the powerful, the elite, obviously the people that don't have to work for minimum wage and all that.
Well, as long as you keep your worker bees happy, they're going to continue to build your hive and stock it full of honey. You give them validation and, a treat now and then, they're going to continue to work. It's time to start working for yourself. Work for your family. Work for your home. Work for your community. Don't work for that big box name store that really doesn't care. They make money hand over fist every day. They can make money while taking a crap on the toilet. However, if you go somewhere and you buy bread or vegetables from a local farmer, you're not buying their second, Pantagani. You're not, you're not financing their, 6th golf course vacation home. You're helping a family. And with that help, you're building that bond. You're building a sense of community.
it's like me and you, obviously. We don't know each other. We've probably got... I didn't know if we had totally opposite views, but we've worked together. You know, we're both benefiting off it. So why can't everyone else do that? Why does it always turn to war? Is it just like... Is all this... What's going on with Muslims, Christians, Jews? Is this all going back thousands of years?
This fighting has been going on since the dawn of time. Ever since you were able to pick up a rock or a bone and strike your opponent and take his spoils, his mate, his home, his food, you learned that might makes right. And the mighty were revered. And they ran to the toes begging for scraps. And as long as they did the alpha's bidding, they were kept well. And thus, you came up from individuals as a sense of community. However, with that force of doing wrong, many suffered. But it wasn't the leader. That's happening today.
Yeah, they always escape, though.
Yeah, because there's always going to be another little cultist come running up and saying, oh, well, I'll take care of it.
Well, like Napoleon Bonaparte, he caused a lot of deaths and he was still allowed to live.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Hitler. Apparently, he escaped. Stalin. I don't know about Chairman Mao. Did he survive, or but he died of old age?
I believe he died of old age.
Yeah. See, and it's always the good people who seem to get killed. Like, what do you know about Kennedy?
Kennedy was killed on purpose. Yeah. This was in the golden age of fear, and he stated, you know, I will find those secret groups, and I will ferret them out. Was the day he signed his own death warrant. The world wasn't ready.
So was he talking about human secret societies?
Yes. That and their infiltration in our governments.
So in the human secret societies, I take it, are they head Saurian, or do they have Saurian influence, or are they just strictly like a human gentleman's club, basically?
Some are, and some have malevolent influence, some benevolent influence. Like I said, existence is duality. There's good and bad to every spectrum you see.
So
without dark, there's no light.
So is the Illuminati real?
Yes. However, they've been demonized over the years. The purpose of it is no. They're the purpose of bringing knowledge into the world to illuminate the people still dwelling in the dark, and for releasing those secrets and that knowledge. They're hated. The Masons practice in secret. They even keep secrets from their lowest ranking members because they're not trusted yet. And that information is not allowed out into the mainstream public. The church is the same way. You can't access the, historic sanctums of Vatican City without one, special permission, or two, blessings from the Pope himself. All knowledge is meant to be available. And people who hoard it for positions of power are using that knowledge as a tool against society.
So the church basically are keeping the knowledge. They're not sharing the knowledge. This is fact, isn't it? We know this.
Yes.
And then they want us to trust them.
Yes.
This is the thing. I don't think they get this through their heads. How can we trust them if they're not telling us everything?
Simple faith. Don't rely on a man to tell you. Rely on everything. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, per se. You need to broaden your range of knowledge, not focusing on one person. Provide all. And that's what I'm hoping to do, is show you, yes, I have knowledge, but I'm not the one source. There are thousands, countless thousands of sources. You just have to do the work to find it.
Well, that's how I stumbled upon you.
And you've been studying for a long time.
The pictures, the carvings, the stories, every civilization, talking about. They could have talked about bird people or monkey people, but why did they all talk about something with scaly skin? And it's always a snake, a reptilian, or obviously they didn't call
we're
it.
There.
There is one. There's one picture that I've come across that's a bit worrying. I mean, you've probably seen it. I think it's an Aztec or Mayan picture where it depicts. It looks like a saurian, or it might be an alpha draconian, but it's not got wings, eating humans. Have you seen that?
Yes, I have.
Out of baskets.
Yes, the human sacrifices.
So was that human sacrifices?
Yes.
And I don't want to get all racial, but if it was the other way around, if it was light-skinned people feeding dark-skinned people to the saurians or whatever it is, it seems like the darker-skinned people are feeding light-skinned people to the saurians. Can you tell me about that? Or is that just coincidence?
I believe that would be extrapolation. The peoples depicted on those monuments were all of one color. And again, color is based on where you originate. If you were to go to sub-Saharan Africa, you would die of sun poisoning. You couldn't run nearly as fast to get away from a lion.
But have you noticed you never eat Afghani cows, or you never hear about Afghanistan cows in the best restaurants? It's always like Angus beef. Have you noticed it's from where part of the world that white people come from?
Well,
are we not just better fit? Are we not just better food, better tasting, something like that, because of our environment?
Well, not really. It's like in America we have the land to sustain large populations of cattle. You can go to Japan and have the finest beef in the world, which is Kobe beef. And there they massage their cows and feed them beer. They have the highest fat content, but the taste is absolutely out of this world.
And what?
Yes, the human sacrifices.
So was that human sacrifices?
Yes.
And I don't want to get all racial, but if it was the other way around, if it was light-skinned people feeding dark-skinned people to the saurians or whatever it is, it seems like the darker-skinned people are feeding light-skinned people to the saurians. Can you tell me about that? Or is that just coincidence?
I believe that would be extrapolation. The peoples depicted on those monuments were all of one color. And again, color is based on where you originate. If you were to go to sub-Saharan Africa, you would die of sun poisoning. You couldn't run nearly as fast to get away from a lion.
But have you noticed you never eat Afghani cows, or you never hear about Afghanistan cows in the best restaurants? It's always like Angus beef. Have you noticed it's from where part of the world that white people come from?
Well,
are we not just better fitted? Are we not just better food, better tasting, something like that? Because of our environment?
Well, not really. It's like in America, we have the land to sustain large populations of cattle. You know, you can go to Japan and have the finest beef in the world, which is Kobe beef. And there they massage their cows or feed them beer. You know, they have the highest fat content, but the taste is absolutely out of this world.
And what's pushed on our society?
Quick, efficient, and cheap.
Alcohol is very prevalent in Britain.
Oh, yes.
But am I just digging too deep here, or?
No, there's a rhyme to everything that you're doing. Your logic is very sound.
Like, they might like a bit of spice in the meat. If they go to India, they might like a bit of... It's like a Sainsbury's shopping centre.
Yeah, it's based all on preference.
Would that be the Alpha Draconians, or would that be bad Saurians? Or evil Saurians?
What, human-infused things?
Well, sacrifices, human sacrifices.
Okay. In war, there's a winner and a loser. There is no everybody gets a trophy. Correct?
Yeah.
If you led an army and completely decimated another, those prisoners of war would be your property. You would do with them as you wish.
Yes.
You could make them members of your society, risking a coup, or you could sacrifice them to your creator being, saying, look what I did in your name. Unfortunately, that has been going on since ever.
So it's not like... the Saurians do have empathy, don't they? It's not just like they're mindless.
No, we are very empathetic.
And like I say, do you look at humans as if like children or inferior? And obviously...
Not inferior.
You can answer it truthfully.
Yeah, not inferior by any means. However, unlearned. You know, a vessel waiting to be filled.
Was there a war between Saurians and humans, and then obviously you could have wiped it all out, so it's not like you could have just genocided us off the planet, couldn't you? Or could you not do that?
Why would we? There's no need.
But
You're intelligent yourself. You have the capacity to learn and to do things.
Why would you have that risk, though, of maybe someone like Hitler or someone coming along again and just taking over the world and then using the world's army to take your countries?
Again, there's a balance. What if instead of, a Hitler, there's a Gandhi? Or a doctor that can cure, numerous diseases? Or a child that grows up and brings world peace? There's a balance to everything.
I always say you've not got enough knowledge to take a human's life, another person's life, because you don't know everything, so how can you possibly think you're righteous to take another person's life?
People do that every day to one another.
Only in defence is it right, and I think if you're defending your life.
In defense, I agree. However, people who use force to cow others down is wrong. That's no different than that primordial man who, brained his neighbor to steal his wife or his mate.
But is this not just nature, or is it just nasty? There's no way of controlling it?
There is, but it's going to take a lot of personal growth on the part of humanity to understand that.